Amen. On the bench is Luke Zane. Amen.
I can't write poetry, but I can write it.
Hi guys, I'm just going to try and follow what you did. You've been doing great with the comedy so far. My name is Ayman, and the last time I was this nervous, I was probably your age. And that's saying something because my wife is pregnant, and we're expecting to have our child very soon.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you. We all know what pregnancy is, right? That's what in biology yesterday. So yeah, she's pregnant, about ready to pop is the term that they use, which is kind of funny because I know that women are very sensitive about their weight, so I don't know why they would compare themselves to a balloon. I had like a lot of material that I want to use, but it's kind of strange to use here because well, one of it was supposed to be trying to joke and try to find a wife. But I can't do that here because that would be 50 shades of illegal. Okay, having a baby is a lot like the postal service. You don't get your order on time. Like they told us it's going to be somewhere between the 10th and the 30th of the month. You forget what you ordered. You're going through your seats, you're trying to find out if you placed this order. You end up paying a lot more than you expect. Okay? But as I'm about to become a father, I'm reminded there are certain things you start to understand, you know, new perspectives you get. Like the difference between East and West. Okay? In the West, what happens when a woman gets married? Anyone?
Shower.
No? Anyone? Anyone else? She changes her name. Okay? She changes her maiden name and she takes her husband's name. Now, what other federal program allows you to change your name? Witness protection. She goes to the judge and they're like, okay, you are now allowed to walk into any shop that told you you can't shop here anymore. Your credit rating is suddenly much better. You can buy anything you want, and you can use your husband's credit card. Okay? Now what happens in the East when you get married? Do we change our names?
No.
No. We do. When we have a child. When you have a child, you cease to be who you are and you suddenly become someone or Abu someone else. And that's also a license for you to completely piss off. Everyone that you know, because now everything becomes about the child. You cease to exist. Okay? Now trust me, but this next piece of advice will really help you out when you're closer to my age. See, the funny thing is, I was probably 13 more than 13 years ago. So it's really hard for me to think of, you know, PG-13. But please keep in mind this next piece of advice, because the biggest fight you will ever have with your spouse is when it comes to naming your child. Okay? Everything my wife wants, I don't want. Automatically. Just part of being a man. You just say no. And the opposite is true. Everything that I want, she says no to, because, you know, feminism. So I came up with a really clever way to get my way in the end. She wanted to name our child Asr. Asr does not sound good in English. Okay? I swear to God it doesn't. So I came up with a clever way to get my way. Because I told her the name that I wanted, and she was like, okay, I like it, but I think my friend who might get married might want to use that name. So, I'm not going to use it. So I did something very smart. I told her I have a great uncle who names his children pharaonic names on account that we are Egyptian. Okay? So I told her, I want to name my son Osiris. Okay. So at first she was like, funny man, you're a comedian, it's okay. But then every time we go someplace, I'd be like, this is my wife, Shuru, and I'd introduce her Begum as Osiris. So little by little, she starts to think, okay, maybe this guy is crazy enough to actually do it. So then she comes back and says, hey, remember we wanted to name our child Amir? I think that's good, let's go with Amir. So I got my way in the end. So guys, this is how you win that argument. It's really strange, like some of you look like you still have your milk teeth. And let's ask you a question, how old are you?
20.
You have more facial hair than I do.
Respect.
But then, like, really guys, when you're about to have a child, which for you is probably a lifetime away, but when you're about to have a child, you really start to think of different things. Like, I'm thinking, this must be what my parents were going through when they were deciding to name me. All the fights I'm having with my wife, all the endless sleepless nights, this must be exactly what my parents were going through. So, my dad probably went up to my mom and said, we're having another boy, what do you want to name him? So she goes, well, we're having a boy who will grow up to be a man. Let's just call him Ayman. Thank you very much, guys. And one more thing. Don't go into marketing. One of you will understand that.
Why? I want to know.